Was geht ab, liebe Leute? Hier ist Yannick. Ich hatte vor kurzem das Vergnügen, mit Murray von Easy Life zu sprechen. Easy Life haben vor kurzem ihr neues Album Life's a Beach veröffentlicht und ich bin ehrlich, das Album hat es mir sehr angetan. Wir haben über ein paar Songs gesprochen, wir haben aber auch über das Cover von Life's a Beach gesprochen und vor allen Dingen auch, wie es zustande gekommen ist. Aber ich will euch gar nicht zu viel vorwegnehmen. Viel Spaß bei dem Interview. Hey man, how you doing?
Good, bro. How are you?
I'm doing great. Let me start right in. Your debut album is finally out. How does it feel to finally have the album out?
Yeah, it feels good. I mean, we've been partying quite a lot, as you might be able to tell from my voice. It's a little bit worse for wear. We're quite happy, man. It's been a lot of celebrations, lots of partying. But yeah, it's good, man. We're stoked. It's so good, and it's been so nice to hear from the fans that they're digging it, and yeah, we're really happy, man.
So the reception is fine as well?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, there's loads of people that just hate it and just hate us and hate everything, but then there's also people that love it, so whatever, man. Yeah, it's great. I think the reception's been really good and all our fans are super sweet, and yeah, we're very lucky.
Nice. How long have you guys been working on the album?
Some of the songs are quite old, but we didn't really decide to write the album until sort of lockdown, really, when we had enough time to do so. Actually, I guess we were doing it before that, maybe January last year. So yeah, we were like, right, this is the year we're going to write an album. I think we intended to actually write and release the album that year, and that could have been possible, but everything went a bit downhill, didn't it? So yeah, we've been working on it for about a year solidly, but some of the songs are slightly older. There's songs that are sort of 3 years old, but we just kind of had them. But
yeah, sometimes you just sit on a song and it feels right to put it on the album and not on a mixtape, I guess. Speaking of the mixtapes, compared to working on your mixtapes, how did you guys approach working on your first album? Was there any difference? Was there dealing with pressure and whatever?
Yeah. Do you know what? Not really. In terms of what we've done historically, this feels, very similar. It's just like a project. Obviously, this one's slightly longer, contains a few more songs, but other than that, it's kind of the same as something we've always done. I guess the mixtapes and the EPs were good practice for this, because this is slightly more like a, flag in the sand saying this is what Easy Life is about. But other than that, the process was very, very similar to the processes we've always had, which is just kind of writing songs and putting them in an order, really. There's no magic to it. So it's just pretty similar to other projects we've made, man.
Tell me about the album art. For context, for the listeners, it shows a sinking car in the ocean. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. So we were quite obsessed with I'm quite obsessed with the methods and the way that art's made. So it was like a 3D rendering, which is some pretty crazy means of making art. So it took so long, and the guys who were all involved are geniuses. And we came up with the concept of the car in the ocean because we wanted to kind of, Life's a Beach is an aspirational album that says, things are going to be fine, and wouldn't it be amazing if we could go to the beach? But we wanted to kind of undermine that with the artwork and say, actually, it just feels like we're just drowning in the ocean, but we've kind of, I don't know. I also like the surrealism. Easy Life visuals have always been surreal.
Oh yeah.
Our videos are kind of based in the strange and the weird and the bizarre. So we kind of wanted to continue that theme with the album. And obviously you couldn't actually drive a car into the middle of the ocean. So that's where the theme came from. But I was just we were really into 3D rendering. It's a really interesting and quite a new thing that we're discovering, I think.
Just different things to picture, I guess. To make visible. Just my roommate actually is just getting into 3D renderings, and he's doing all of, I don't know, he's a big sneaker guy, and he's constantly showing me sneakers and the 3D renderings, and it's so crazy how quickly you can adapt to it when you're down to with the tech.
The technology is mental as well. It's
so crazy.
Yeah, it's a really interesting format. So we were always sure that would be the format we wanted, and then it just took us a while to figure out what it is we wanted to render. And after that, we just kind of put it together. It took a long time. The artwork took a long time.
Oh, I bet.
It took a very long time. It took like several months to get right. So
what took so long? What was tell me about the process. What was the nitty-gritty things?
Process takes a very long time. To render a car, you literally have to, the way that the designers were talking to us about it is like, we have to build a car. So we can't just build it overnight. That takes weeks. And then we have to make the ocean, which takes a long time. And then you have to, literally have to, I don't know. It takes a lot of time. There's a lot of work. And then obviously dealing with the colors and then doing it with our like art direction. And we're trying to get the right graphics, and it's a big process. And also like something that we haven't done before. So I guess that's why it took longer, because we're sort of steering a ship that we don't really understand entirely, because we want to understand it. Whereas like historically, all our artwork has been like photography based media, which is something that we're fluent in. Whereas this new thing was a bit like, wow, we don't really know what you're talking about. But if you say it's going to take a month, it's going to take a month, you know?
Well, whatever. You take your time. Yeah,
exactly.
I see. I really like the sound of the album. I think it's such a well-balanced mix of influences. And I think for now, Skeletons is my favorite, because you go all Kanye on American Boy at some point during the song.
Yeah.
What did you listen to while making the album?
Yeah, wow. It's funny when people ask me what I listened to while making it. Honestly, I just listened to the album. Like, I had to listen to that album so many fucking times. It was horrible. But I don't know. We listen to a lot, you know, and I think it's so easy to listen to a lot of music because of Spotify and Apple Music, yada yada yada. It's so easy to just be like, oh, I'm going to listen to this complete random thing I've never listened to today, and I'm going to.
All Heroes Wear Capes, for example.
Yeah, exactly. And just like, you can listen to fucking loads of stuff, you know. And then there's like, obviously Kanye, like you said, the Kanyes and like all that whole like American like hip hop thing has influenced Easy Life from the get go, and that's been something that really, that's the music I enjoy to listen to. Like, if I say, if I was to separate like searching for influence from just sort of kicking back and relaxing, I'd 9 times out of 10 be listening to like Kendrick or something like that. So, or the Kanyes of the world, where for just like driving or whatever. But if I'm vibing to other things, you know, there's a whole world out there that I'm trying to familiarize myself with. I think it's important to be as diverse as possible with the influence. Otherwise, it's like being a pastiche of the people that you listen to. And I think that's really quite boring. There's a lot of people, you know, that just sound like loads of other people. I'm sure we do too. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure like there's, you know, we just sound like everyone else.
Everything influences everything in a way.
Yeah, no idea.
We say everything's a remix.
Yeah, exactly. There's no such thing as an original song. So I just think like we're really quite good at stealing things, and like I'm happy to admit that. Like I steal a lot of my ideas, all of my ideas. In fact, we're so Ocean View, for example, is Easy Life have always used sampling as a format, and sampling's right across the record and every single song. Ocean View is literally just somebody else's song sped up with me rapping over it, you know. And like I'm happy to admit that. I just think like it's a nice choice of sample, but I haven't made the sample, you know. I just stole it and pitched it up. But I don't know. So Easy Life's always been about just like grabbing things that we like and like bringing them into our world, and I think that that's okay. So in terms of influences, we really are just like listening to everything. And that song Ocean View is a song called Love the Ocean by an artist called Amelia Ali. It's like a acoustic guitar folk song. So I was listening to acoustic guitar folk at some point. I don't know when.
Yeah, I mean,
listen to everything, bro.
One thing I really enjoyed about Easy Life is the warm sound mixed with the very dark undertone in the lyrics. I think Living Strange is a very good example of that.
Yeah, cool, man.
How did you get that together? Because I think it's very hard to combine the warm sound with the dark undertone. It's not an easy task to make it work.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I think I don't know. I always feel like I wrote that with my brother. I think that's worth mentioning. So I have an older brother who's like my best friend. So in terms of being able to confide in him and talk like the real truth with him, I find it very easy. So when me and my brother write songs together, it's usually they're usually very raw and very honest, and in this case, fairly dark. Because I guess I was just at the time we were both sort of, you know, going through some shit and wanted to talk to each other about it, and we do that, communicate via song. In terms of having like the instrumental not necessarily reflecting the darkness of the lyrics, I've always felt that is is something we do all the time and sort of unknowingly, because I think what sort of gets me going is like an uplifting beat, but then actually how I feel is just like the world is really shit. So
not uplifting at all.
Yeah, exactly. So now what do we do? Well, I don't know. So it's like, I think a lot of it is, I also feel like having a really sad song over a really sad instrumental, I feel like that's been done a lot as well. And I'm not like intentionally not doing that, but I'm glad that I don't do that, because I think there's people who can do that way better than I can. That's for sure. Like all the best music is really sad, and that has been tick boxed. Everyone's doing that shit.
Oh yeah.
Like we're kind of doing like the opposite of that, where it's like, and I love it when people say, "Oh, your music's like so happy and so uplifting." I'm like, I'm so glad that's how it makes you feel, because I sort of want to lift myself out of this like depression as much as you do. So it's like, this is great. I'm glad that you've resonated, but then I'm also glad when people like yourself say, well, actually, it's not that uplifting, is it really? And I'm like, no, not really, but it's a nice juxtaposition, and I think it's an interesting one, and one that feels slightly, like I said, slightly just more provocative than just having a sad song with a sad lyric.
It's not that simple. It's you have to listen to it. What was the idea behind Music to Walk Home To?
Oh no, so
what happened there?
Yeah, exactly. There wasn't an idea. Going back to what we're talking about references, we were just listening to a lot of Fela Kuti and a lot of that kind of like music, lots of African music for a little while. He'd just released that song actually, 2000 Black with Roy Ayers, and Roy Ayers is like a huge inspiration for what we do. So I was like obsessed with that, and it's like an 18-minute long song. So we would just listen to that for like days on end, being like, this is insane. Like the recording is so good. That's like, oh, that shit blew my mind. And then we were all gassed on it. And then it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was really drunk. And I woke up with that, and we'd made that. But I was with my friend Fraser T. Smith, who did some of the production on Nightmares and Daydreams as well. And then we co-wrote Music to Walk Home To. And we just sort of start making this samba beat and drinking and smoking. And then, the rest is history. I remember being in the vocal booth and just telling him this story of how I would hypothetically get home from where we were now, like freestyling it to him. And I could see him through the glass. We were just laughing the whole way.
Yeah, I was laughing too, because it was the way you depict, it was,
it's funny, isn't it?
It's very funny. Yeah,
we didn't, obviously, like, I think with lots of the songs on the album, we didn't think we'd put them on the album, but then we just put them on because they're a good vibe. And this is like, this is that, you know, it's obviously a bit stupid, and I don't think people are going to necessarily like hold it in like high regard artistically, but like, I just think, fuck it. It's funny. It makes me laugh. So
I think it's a good outro.
Yeah.
For me, for this album, especially, it's a good outro because it sums up not sums up the feeling, but it's just, it finishes well.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. Cheers, bro.
My last question is about your plans for touring.
Right, yeah.
Because I really want to see you guys live after vibing to the album for the past couple of days.
Nice, yeah. We want to tour. I think we're coming to Europe in March 2022. I think so.
Let's hope for the best.
That's what we're planning to do. I think I don't even know if we've announced that tour yet, but I know we have a tour planned for March or April next year. And that's what we're planning to do. We love touring Europe. Touring Europe's like my favorite tour to do. I love touring Europe. It's so much fun. So especially like going to Berlin and Germany and stuff. It's just it's like the best place to tour. So like we really want to do that, but obviously it's difficult to plan anything in the current circumstances. We're touring the UK in July. We've got like a mini like in-store signing tour where we're going to go sign people's vinyls.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, we're really stoked on that. We're going to play a few shows, and that's what we're rehearsing for now. And then in November, we've got like a big like UK tour where we're going to play like proper venues and stuff, and hope that will happen. But I mean, the world's just so fucked and so unpredictable. I was listening to the radio this morning, and they were like all doom and gloom, saying we're going to get locked down and all this shit. I don't know, man. But it's an important thing for us to do. Easy Life is a live band, really. That's
what I was going to say.
Yeah, first and foremost, that's like that's our lead card. You know, that's like something we can do that other people perhaps can't do as well, and it's definitely something that makes us happy and gives us a lot of fulfillment. So we're keen, we're desperate to get back on the road. So we're going to pull out all the stops and do anything we can and like bend the rules as much as possible to get to Europe.
Go. That's what I'm like. Oh, that's what I like to hear. Nice. So March maybe. To my German listeners, Leute, März. Ich sag euch, wie es ist. Schaut euch das an. So, okay. Well then, I had to switch to German for a second. Just for the
sounded great when you did that. It's crazy when people switch on you like that. It's like, how do you do that?
I'm trying my best. That's it for me now. Thanks for your time, Murray.
No, it's all Yannick, man. It's been a good chat. Good to chat to you, man.
Yeah. Let's hope for March.
Yes. Let's have some beers. Come say hello and come hang out.
Yeah, and eat shawarma or something like that, or a döner.
Sounds good.
Alrighty.
All right.
Bounce.
Nice one, man. Take it easy.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.